Cool. Love getting the new names, and that's why we're here at Draft Professor, right? We're digging,
Yep.
we're looking, and I appreciate the efforts that you're putting in, to prep. And we haven't covered Utah or Texas Tech yet this year. So I think we're covering Utah. It's either next week or the week after. But this was like a great intro to the teams. Andrew, anybody else on Texas Tech or Utah from a draft perspective that you'd like to name drop, talk about, shed some light on?
Terrence Carter, tight end for Texas Tech. I watched him over the summer too. Came from Louisiana, Lafayette, I want to say. And he transferred there after the season last year. Strong hands, good yak ability. He looks a little stiff in his movement, but he can kind of surprise you with his burst off the line and his straight line speed. So not sure he's necessarily going to be a guy that you hear before middle to late day 3. But he's somebody that could be a fun player to watch on your team who's looking for tight end depth, or you need somebody to kind of be a little bit of a flashy playmaker potential in your depth. So don't have a whole lot on him, but
who does he most remind you of?
Oh God. It's funny. I used to be really big on comps, and I said like a Harrison Smith light here earlier. Unless it really pops out to me, it's hard to say. I would say based off of just browsing my brain real quick, thinking about like the stiff movement, but he kind of can surprise you with his speed. Not merely the size of him, because who I'm going to say is a giant. Darnell Washington now, can get a little bit of burst right off the line. Can truck you with the speed, obviously. Again, Darnell Washington's the size of a skyscraper, and Terrence Carter is not the size of that. But like I said, movement skills need some work, maybe some hot yogas in his future to kind of loosen him up a little bit with the limber. But yeah, like I said, strong hands, good yak ability. That's a good start for a tight end. Get him in an NFL camp, get him to start blocking, and kind of see what you got from there.
So last night we're talking about Lawrence Taylor's Taekwondo coach. Tonight we're talking about hot yoga. Like, we are digging deep. We're digging deep. But if you guys didn't know this, Gabe Akis at Illinois, he trains with Lawrence Taylor's Taekwondo coach.
Oh,
really?
So if you look up this coach, he has been coaching edge rushers for 30 years.
Wow.
That's
really? That's insane.
So yeah, and that came from, we had somebody from a Champaign, Illinois CBS affiliate on our podcast, right? He covers Illinois every day.
Yeah.
And like, he gets to talk to the players. He even gets to talk to the Taekwondo coach.
Wow.
Like,
yes.
So yeah, that's like, so if you start hearing about this in draft circles, it started on this podcast, right? Because we covered Illinois in August,
if I may,
and then we've covered Illinois 2 other times since. So, and we're covering. And I think, are you guys covering Illinois next week, or it's either you guys or the show before you? One of the shows on Thursday is USC Illinois.
Yeah. I just want to share something.
Yeah,
defensive linemen who learn karate and apply those moves to their work is not new. When I was invited to the Dallas Cowboys office when I was 16 years old, and then I'm 63. They were then on 6116 North Central Expressway. Ernie Stautner was defensive coordinator, and he explained how back then they had a karate coach working with them. Back then, this was 1978.
Head of the game.
Yeah. And Bears cornerback Kyler Gordon. He was a jiu-jitsu guy coming out. So I'm guessing it teaches reflexes and balance and core strength and all of that. So I guess it works.
I think in those days the Cowboys were using it just to basically get the offensive lineman off you, because it's music, right? So that was the idea. Get off me! Get off me!
Okay, so Lander Barton Is he a guy? Is he draftable? Andrew, do you have anything on Lander Barton, the linebacker from Utah?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of him. I didn't get enough to get a report on him. I actually had to dig for notes here because I remember writing stuff down. I thought he had good ball tracking skills, find the running back, coming out of the backfield or the ball in the air. Good sideline to sideline range, which obviously is vital if you want to try to make it in the NFL as a linebacker anymore with the speed of the game. Good size and strength for the position. Nothing too impressive. Like the way the linebacker position is valued now, like you've got those good instincts and those super athletes who really are the best ones at the position, where everyone else, this is not a knock on them, it's just it almost feels like a dime a dozen. Like I'm seeing that right now at the Bucks. Like Levante David's the creme de la creme of the linebacking group there, like clearly.
Yeah.
And I get to watch when he's not making plays. I have to suffer through Servace Dennis and Deion Jones and everyone else trying to pick up the slack. And it's clear they're just not the athlete that David is. And I think with Barton, not that he's necessarily even as good as Dennis, but Barton, again, is just probably one of those day three linebackers, maybe even a UDFA guy, but will probably make a team, plays hard. Coaches are going to love him. That's half the battle, especially for that position. So there's definitely a place for him in the NFL on a roster and some type of role, maybe even special teams to stick around. But
hey, Andrew, I'm curious, does any aspect of his game remind you of, remember Evan Weaver from Cal?
I've not seen. Oh wait, you mean what year was he? I forgot about
2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Yeah. Oh man.
2 years ago. Yeah.
Maybe a little bit from what I remember of Evan Weaver. Man, that's funny. You're pulling out a bunch of old names here today. I even wrote about Rashawn Weaver today for another job I had, so another old Weaver name. But yeah, no, I think that's not a bad comparison. I can't remember where Weaver went in the draft, but
Arizona.
I meant like what round?
Oh gosh, it was like second, third. I have to look that up again. Just
I remember being.
We shared a plane ride together.
I remember liking Weaver a decent amount, whereas with Barton, I just kind of felt like I watched another linebacker. And again, not to be mean or disrespectful, because here my fat butt's sitting here talking on the screen. But no, I just think Barton's kind of blends into the crowd more than he does separating himself. And that's what you got to do now if you're a linebacker. Like you're either, oh, this guy's got it, or it's day three, let's see what you got in and kind of develop sort of thing.
Yep, agreed.
And EJ, you wanted to talk about 3 Texas Tech wide receivers. And I know that you mentioned them briefly earlier, but feel free to drop names and tell everybody what you saw.
Yeah, 3 guys like to keep an eye on. They got a trio of wide receivers there for Baron Morton. Reggie Virgil, Caleb Douglas, and Coy Aiken. Those are his three receivers. Coy Aiken is their slot receiver. He's about 6'2", 210. Virgil is 6'3", 190, and Caleb Douglas about 6'4", 200. So they're all relatively big guys. These are guys they could play themselves into maybe a day 2, but right now they're guys that you probably want to take a flyer on day 3. Thing about with Virgil is he can run, he can get downfield, and at that height, that size, speed combination, you like that. They've all shown an ability to track the ball downfield with as much deep passes as Baron Morton throws. Caleb Douglas, he's probably the best of the bunch. He has decent speed to get downfield, but he also has run after the catch ability. So if you want to do some mesh concept, you want to throw him a shallow crosser, he's going to get you some yards after that with the ball in his hand. Coy Aiken, he is your typical slot receiver, not the biggest, not the fastest, but he has excellent quickness, and he's a very strong player. He's also a guy that's not too bad after the catch. So he's a guy you get him some short passes, he can get you some extra yards. Weird fact about him is he had a childhood injury to one of his legs. So because of that, like one foot is like a size 12, the other one is like a size 14. Because that's what made me want to watch him. Like, so how does this guy run? Does he even trip over his own feet or something like that? But he runs fairly well. Once he gets the ball in his hands, he runs like a running back. So I like. There's a place for him in the league. Maybe start off on special teams, maybe as a kick returner, but he can definitely get some production coming out of the slot. So he's a guy to watch, especially in this offense with the way Morton is delivering the football. He's going to have a lot of opportunities for production.
Okay. Well, why don't we pause here for a brief minute? Zenny, do you want to let everybody know who you are, all the football content that you make? Let everybody know how to find you.
Sure. I'm Zenny Abraham, CEO of Zenny 62 Media. I've covered the NFL draft on site, where my company's been credentialed to do that since 2005, so 20 straight years. And that happened mainly because, honestly, the city of Oakland treated me like crap and trying to bring Super Bowl to Oakland. It did in the face of the NFL. And they said, hey, we want to make it up to you. Is there anything we do, let us know. And I said, I'd love to cover the NFL draft. And Joe Brown said, you're in. And that was 2004. And so I became the first person to actually make an online account of what it was like to cover the draft. And then in 2006, I became the first to cover the draft on the YouTube channel. And that's when I met Bill Carroll. Well, 2005, I met Bill Chakas and the rest of the back of the club gang, as we called it, and then Bill Carroll and everybody else. And now we've got 11 bloggers. We're always looking for more folks, particularly NFL draft folks. And the NFL really allowed me to build what is now a media company, a Delaware C Corp, where I own 60% of the stock, but just by access. And so I can go on and on and on, but there it is. So if you want to know more, visit our corporate site is zenny62media.com. And we do online reputation management for clients, which really pays the news part because, as everybody knows, ad revenue doesn't do it anymore. But hey, look, if there's a client needs help, doesn't like how they look online, we give you 15% of the retainer if they hire us. And there are a lot of athletes who need that kind of help.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you on.
Thank you.
We'll talk more here in a minute. Andrew, you want to let everybody know about all the Vikings and Buccaneers content that you make?
Yeah, it's been a busy week, especially with the Bucs. I think I've written 18 different injury pieces this week alone, and I'm really tired of it. Between everyone going on IR and getting injured, and we're flirting with coming back, and we're not. But anyway, you can find all my stuff on Bucs Wire and Vikings Wire, where I'm the managing editor and lead writer. So, handle on Twitter /X at MandrewNFL. That's about where it's at right now.
Well, I forgot to mention too. Our new NFL site is called NFL News by Zenny62.com. And so it's, yeah.
EJ.
So, yeah, basically, you can find all my work pretty much. Well, first of all, you can find me here every Thursday at 9 o'clock on the Mrs. Are Relevant podcast. Then you can find me on Twitter. Pretty much I'm doing film breakdowns, player breakdowns, draft evaluations. Pretty much that's pretty much all I do. I'll throw in some Eagles content every now and then too as well. I promise I will never ever use the word generational, and pretty much all my opinions are film based. So don't argue with me, argue with the film.
Well, welcome to the Draft Professor, everybody. If this is your first time catching us, we're here every night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern. 2 podcasts every night, Monday through Friday. We podcast on Saturday. We podcast on Sunday. And we couldn't do this without EJ and Andrew doing their 1/7. They show up one day a week. And when you get 24 people that show up one day a week, you get a lot of draft podcasts. So Draft Professor has 96 people that help put out daily draft content. So Zenny, if you're looking for more people to cover the draft, have I got a group for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the neat thing about it is that with us, you actually have to sign up as an NFL draft, as an NFL media reporter under our company name. So I definitely, absolutely, it'll be a godsend.
And if, for example, if the Senior Bowl restricts themselves to only NFL credentialed media, wow, you might become Draft Professor's next best friend, because if we go in under your organization, we might be able to get access that we couldn't otherwise get if that Senior Bowl rumor happens to be true.
Well, hey,
so we will definitely be in touch.
That's a great reason to go to investors and say,
yes, yes.
That's the nature of a startup,
Yeah. So with Draft Professor, right now we're doing team previews. So we're in the month of September. This podcast is recorded live on September 18th. We just covered Utah, Texas Tech. This week and next week, we're breaking down game previews. Starting the first week of October, many of the podcasts are going to start breaking down the draft class. EJ and Andrew specifically will be breaking down the running back class. So we've plucked out about 43 running backs, and each podcast is going to cover 8 of them. And 5 weeks later, you're going to have a pretty good assessment of the running back class. Some of the podcasts will have wide receivers, a different one will have defensive line, different one offensive line. Every position group has a specific weeknight that position is covered. So that'll take us all the way up to December. But if you're looking for the first breakdown of the draft class, it's going to happen right here in the Draft Professor. That's what we do. We podcast on the draft every day.
Oh, hey, go to NFL News by Zenny62.com and then scroll down. You'll see something right now.
Okay.
But yeah, you'll see yourself.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, all of you. Yeah. So I saw a little tag. Yeah, I ported it over.
So I have a question on. We'll kind of close this out with Utah, Texas Tech. Over under 5.5. Andrew, do you think more or less than 5.5 players in the Utah, Texas Tech game get drafted in 2026?
I would say over. I think that's a good thing. Obviously you got the 2 tackles for Utah, Lomo and Fanu. Those are 2. Wisniewski, I think, will be another. Tao Johnson, there's 4. Lander Barton, the chance in there. David Bailey. So, I think over is a good shot.
EJ, how about you?
Yeah, that's over. Like just the names that Andrew named, I think those are pretty much all draftable guys. I think they're going to get drafted. So I say over.
Okay. Zenny, taking the over or the under?
I'm taking over, substantially over, I think. Yeah.
So the reason I chose 5.5, so Lomu can go back to school. There's no guarantee he's in this draft class. So I had Fano, I had Bailey, I had Morton, and those were the 3 that I definitely knew, plus the 2 safeties. But then anything after the safeties is really a maybe. Right? So it's whether or not one of those maybes hits. So that was where I was. But I know that Andrew, you got to bounce out of here in a minute. So for the 96 podcasters at the Draft Professor, for special guest Zenny, for EJ, for Andrew, for myself, thank you so much for tuning in. Go Bills, and we'll see you on a podcast again tomorrow.
Go Cal Bears.